really what you gotta do to go backwards, get rid of the oxygens, connect those two.
Just with my hands, because I don't know how to do that chemically.
Well, you're not really showing a reverse. When you're going backwards, you would say, I'm thinking backwards, but you'd say, oh, my ozone, happened like this. Here's what I came from. So going backwards is saying, what did I come from?
Okay.
Not necessarily you're not doing the reverse reaction to it. So if we're thinking about this, anytime you see just a straight alkane, your first step is always free radical bromination.
Nailed it. Mm-hmm.
Always, always, always. And then, usually, your second step just has to be an E2. Because you can't really... I'm just going to go easy. You can't really do anything other than eliminate. So anytime I see an alkane, you basically know your first two steps. And so then you ask yourself, I must just have to do ozonolysis here. And so you would do it and see, do I get the same product? If you do, great, you did it. If not, then think, okay, where do I need to change it? Going backward, a lot of people like to go backwards. That's great. For me, it doesn't seem as helpful as going forward. But I can show you maybe this one, how you would think backwards. So this one, we have an epoxy group there, right? So an epoxidation comes from a peroxy acid. So that must mean, but it comes from having a double bond here, right? So the question is, can we go from a alcohol to a double bond?
No.
Why not?
Which one are we on?
Wait.
This one here.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I haven't looked at it yet.
Well, can't we use like an E1?
So what would happen? So the first thing we did is we did an epoxidation must have come from a double bond. We know that. That's the only way to make our epoxy group there. So the real question is, now how do we go from an alcohol to this double bond? And we think, oh, alcohol we can eliminate. So let's try that. Let's say we add H2SO4 in heat, because that's what you do with an alcohol to eliminate. Oh, but we'd get a carbocation intermediate, so that means our double bond would look like that.
Because of the methyl shift.
Because we'd have a carbocation. So we can't do that. So what else can we do with an alcohol?
Well, can you
Do a peroxide.
swap it out?
Because like you want anti, right?
Yeah, but there's really no way to make an anti-double bond. Anti is usually when you have a double bond and you're adding
I haven't caught up then.
bromide. So
Could we use like diatomic bromine
Can I just ask what?
with water? Oh no, you'd have to already have an alkene first.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
The BH3 THF.
that's when you have a double bond.
That's when you have a double bond.
To make
Sorry,
alcohol.
what's that underneath it?
This?
Yeah.
It's not my alkene.
Okay, so.
Because to get an epoxy,
Oh,
you have to have an alkene. So we're working backwards here.
oh, that's why I'm messed up.
So when you have an alkene, you add peroxy acid to make this epoxide.
Oof, yeah, okay.
So now we know how to get this alkene from here. So I'll tell you, since we have 3 minutes left.
Please do.
So we obviously can't have a shift, right? So you can't take an alcohol and eliminate, because our secondary alcohol will have a shift because there will be a carbocation. So we need to change it to an alkyl halide by adding SOCl2, which gives us a chlorine here. Puts that chlorine on. Now, if we did E2, there also won't be a shift, and there's no beta hydrogens here, so we only form a double bond this way.
Pure genius. I
Bam.
remember like one of the ones from tractors.
And so you form a double bond, and then form your peroxy acid. So if you have an alcohol, because all alcohols, it's either SN1 or E1 if you're secondary. So you realize, oh, those would give me shifts. I don't want a shift. So then you got to think, change it to an alkyl halide. Then alkyl halides, you can do E2 and avoid a shift from occurring.
Brilliant.
So that's one of the
So you
little
don't have
tricks.
to show the. Cause I know there's the pyridine.
Pyrimidine?
Yeah. Do you have to
Yeah.
show that as well, or
Sometimes they don't. I usually don't write it. I just draw it out because
okay.
it's a little bit easier than writing out pyrimidine.
Yeah, because on our quiz today, I shorthanded some things. I got wrong answers, so I don't want to do that again.
Cool.